Curtis is ready. Curtis is ready, so we'll call our meeting to order. First up, we'd entertain motions for the additions or deletions to the agenda. Your pleasure.
Very nice. I am.
Okay. Well, entertain a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Move to accept. Support.
Okay, last chance for questions or comments. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion is carried. Roll call. Are you completed?
All set.
All right, we're done with that. Next up is Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would please rise and join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the August 13, 2024 regular meeting.
So moved.
Support. Have motion support. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. That motion is carried. Moving on to request for purchase. We are to consider a resolution to approve request for purchase from Medler Electric Company in the amount of $15,527.32 for 40 new LED drivers for the downtown light posts. Your pleasure.
Move approval.
Support.
Okay, we have motion support.
Yes, Medler Electric provided us the dollar amount that you see there in front of you. Staff reached out to Medler to come up with some options for the new drivers inside the light poles. They came up with 3 options ranging from $702 per driver to $388 per driver. So what's in front of you is the low-cost driver. The only difference between that one and the second highest costed driver, which is $421, is that one is powder coated and one is not, and they're to the interior, so there's no issue there. We reached out to the supplier, which is Wizard Lighting Company, about getting a second bid. Medler is a distributor of these drivers, and the response that we got back from Wizard Lighting Company is that yes, another distributor could reach out to them and ask for, to get a quote to give to us, but it would be higher than what Medler did. Medler went ahead and just done the work, what needs to happen in those for the lighting fixtures, and so what they would give to the next distributor would be a higher price point than what Medler has here. So that is all the information I have for you, and this is the best price that we would be able to get on this particular driver going into those the double luminaire lights for the downtown.
Okay, good questions? If you remember last time we tabled this, I think to ask for more information, more bids. So these are the only items that will fit that type of post that we've got the heads there?
That's working with Medler. That's what they came up with, those 3 drivers to fit into what we have.
Okay. Anybody else have questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion is carried. Thank you. And thank you for the extra legwork on that, too. Appreciate it. Resolutions. We are to consider a resolution ratifying the investment of the following city funds. And before us tonight, we have 1 Cedars and 2 CDs for a total of, looks like $600,000. Your pleasure.
Move to adopt. Support.
Got a motion support. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. The motion is carried. Thank you. Next up, we would consider a resolution proclaiming Thursday, October 31st as Halloween in the city of Elma and setting the trick-or-treat hours of between 5:30 and 7:30 p.m. on that day.
Move to
Your
adopt.
pleasure.
Support.
Comments or questions? Okay, hearing.
For the world.
This is for the world, okay. The world will have Halloween. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion is carried. And it is the world to a lot of our citizens, a number of them, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Number 3, we're to consider a resolution to approve the fiscal year 2025 budget amendments as presented.
Move to adopt. Support.
Got a motion support. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. And that motion is also carried. Number 4, consideration of a resolution to approve an assessment of a water line fee and/or a water meter fee for water customers of the city of Alma that are refusing to permit the removal and replacement of galvanized water lines and/or infrastructure and obsolete water meters, which will be effective immediately upon adoption here. Your pleasure.
Move to adopt.
Support.
Motion support. Do you want to give more background on
Yes.
why we're doing this and everything again? Just in
Yep.
case somebody hasn't heard it
Last
before?
meeting, we discussed an introduction of an ordinance to add a fee of $100 per month for those folks who are right now in the queue to have their galvanized line replaced and/or have a water meter. All water meters will be replaced underneath the drinking water SRF. We have a limited time to use the funds from the state, so we want to make sure that we get every single one of the meters changed out and every single one of those identified galvanized lines changed out. We're hoping that everyone responds to the contractors to go in and get these 2 items done, if they have the 2 items, or at least the water meters. We discussed adding a $100 fee per month on their utility bill until that was changed. What we discussed from the last meeting was to add an escalator, and that has been added to the one that's in front of you this evening. So each additional 6 months after the project is over with, we start adding the $100. 6 months later, another $50. 6 months, another $50. And then you also requested that we look at an end date, that if they don't do it, then it just doesn't keep going on forever. And in there, we did include a 2-year time limit, that after 2 years, even though they were paying the fee, that we would have the authority to go in and just, we'll shut the water off, because we, especially on the galvanized side of things, we won't be able to provide them safe, clean drinking water, or at least guarantee it. So adding those in, and underneath the water meter replacement, since we do have all the funds, grant funds, to replace those in this time period, that on top of the water fee that we'd be charging, the individual homeowner would be responsible when that water meter needed to be replaced. If they didn't do it within the time period that we're working on right now, they would be fully responsible for the cost of the water meter plus the installation costs of our staff to do the work. So we really want people to get this done now while we have the money, and if all that happens, we won't need to use this.
Right.
And just for the camera, well, how much does that cost the people if they get it done in a timely manner when you ask?
Well, the meters are about $400, $500.
No, Ryan,
It costs
if they
the property owner,
yeah,
if they just cooperate.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Do what they're supposed to do.
There's $0.
$0, so there's no reason for people.
Yes.
Yes.
Either program, there's no cost.
There's no cost at all.
State mandated and
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else have comments or questions? Good point, Dan. Thanks for bringing that up. So all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. That motion is also carried. Moving on down to agreements. We are to consider a resolution to approve a change order to the agreement with Crawford Contracting Incorporated for the sanitary sewer project north of Washington in the amount of $28,457, which will change the total amount of the contract from $2,111,762.84 to $2,140,219.84. Your pleasure.
Move to adopt.
Support. Motion support. Want to get some background?
Yeah, we do have Row Engineering here to kind of talk about the change order and those extras that came about as we went through the project. So,
There was one extra
Would you
item.
please go to the podium for us and say your name?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually go with it. I'm Bill Mayhew with your old professional services.
Thank you.
There was one extra item to the contract, and that was the field drive, temporary field drive going back into the city's yard that they were using. Everything else was per the contract. There was additions to the contract, increases in the quantities. For instance, the paving, as you know, on the north end of Carnahan, what was an alley, that was paved, and that included additional grading. And there was increases in general, small in general, adding up for the increase, the overall increase of a little over, right around $25,000 increase.
Anybody have questions? Okay, well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? No. Excuse me, that motion is also carried. Moving on to J, reports of officers, boards, and committees. The commissioners may receive the following reports by one resolution, or any commissioner may remove any of the items within the section for individual discussion and vote. Excuse me. And tonight we have the Elma Police Department July 2024 report, the building permits report for July 2024, and the city manager's report.
Move to receive 1 and 2.
Okay, we have motion support, comments or questions? Last chance. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. That motion is carried.
Move to receive 3.
Support. Okay, we have motion support. Eric?
Yep, the big one I want to talk to you tonight about is get some feedback from you. Don't have to be the final answer on it, but snow removal, snow is coming. So we've had some discussions at the DDA level. Folks from downtown have commented in the past about, right now, how we control snow is we push everything from the street to the sidewalks. We have another apparatus that comes down and pushes snow on the sidewalks, and we push snow in the parking lots into piles, and then when there's time, those things are removed. For the sidewalks, we do hear, here and there, that it's tough to get over those humps of snow. But we try to get those out in a timely manner. If everything works well, we have them out in 3 days. But depending on the snow events happening, if we have a back-to-back snow event, it might be a week before those snow piles on the sidewalk are removed. So the option that is doable. The other option is that you push all the snow to the center of the street. Now there's negatives and positives to that. Now you don't have the snow on the sidewalk, so when people pull up to the sidewalk and get out, they don't have to worry about necessarily flying over. Some business owners do, shovel out some things, snow plow some things out of the way. But you will have that pile of snow in there for this time period that we currently would have what you do on the sidewalk. So when you close off that center turn lane, you're not going to be able to turn as easily. We do have, every once in a while, if you notice, if you go through downtown, we have delivery trucks that sometimes utilize the center turn lane for deliveries. So traffic can move in the driving lane. And then also, if you have the concerns of, right now, with emergency vehicles going through town, they can use, if people aren't doing what they're supposed to, they can use the center turn lane to make their way down through there. So we can't really guarantee, if we push it to the center, that it's gone within, moments of it going that way. It is doable. I spoke with the public services superintendent. We do have the equipment that we could do it this way, but we just wanted to start this conversation a little earlier than later. We still have a couple months before, hopefully more than a couple months before snow flies.
Is there more of an issue of possibly having to scrape the roads with it in the middle? I mean, you think it's going to stay in its own little containment?
It just depends on the type of weather we're having.
Because I just see it getting, besides it being kind of a safety thing. I also understand the annoyance of trying to go somewhere downtown and having to scale the wall of snow, but I worry that the pile in the street may be more of an issue. I don't know what anybody else thinks.
Well, I guess from the other side, from my perspective too, when you push it to the sidewalk, you're moving it once.
Right.
And then you push it to the street again to pick it up and get rid of it later. So then you're handling it a second time. So the one advantage to moving to the center is you're only handling that once. You're not moving it
Oh,
twice.
so they're moving it back from the
So they move it over the sidewalk first,
Okay.
and then they come back later to push it out so they can pick it up. And
All right.
so that's an advantage of it. Timing is huge in all this. And I guess probably your question, I think in your report, first question is, MDOT going to allow it to happen? It's a state highway. It may not be our choice. That may not be an option for us. So I guess I'd like to hear from them first, and then
Is
before
there a
we
way
waste too
we
much
can
time
do-
discussing it.
I'm just asking, I don't know. Instead of working, chances are people aren't going to the parking lots in the morning, is there a scheduling where they can just concentrate on the few streets in downtown where businesses are open during the day before they go to clean the parking lots at Conservation or Kings Park or Wright Avenue Park, because not many people are using, I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, we do have a priority list, and
Yeah.
the main thoroughfares are first, then
With
your
the
major,
sidewalks,
then
yeah.
your major locals, then downtown parking lots, sidewalk, and then when they get an opportunity to, then they come in and try to get snow out of the downtown.
Actually hauling it away.
Hauling it away, because eventually it has to happen. And depending on the timing, crew available, you might start with the parking lot. We don't try to start with the parking lots. We try to start with, if we can get the sidewalks done first, we'll do that. But sometimes it's just timing, and it's better to start trying to move the snow out of the parking lots than to do nothing at all. So there's, my perspective, there's no good answer.
Right.
There really isn't, because snow is a pain, and sometimes, it's not sometimes, every year we get the calls of, hey, you push snow into my driveway and all those things, and that's the physics of how snow plows work. I have 4 approaches I deal with every year, so it's not fun for anybody, and this is just one thing that we hear consistently, and I told them I would bring that up this year to have a serious discussion about it, and go from there. So, but if you weren't interested at all, I wouldn't even bother.
No, we're very interested.
Bother MDOT.
I mean, the safety factor is I didn't realize that it was the moving things twice, which it makes sense, but I worry that it might possibly be more of an issue if we've got no place for the delivery. I mean, I don't know what they're supposed to be doing, but it seems like that's helpful maybe to be in the center instead of clogging up a...
Well, it just, that's how it works. 'Cause
Right.
some communities you'll drive to, and they'll just park right in the driving lane.
Right.
To make a delivery and
Correct.
just go around them.
Right.
But we have the extra lane there, so most times they will utilize that, unless they have a side street that's closer to the storefront, and they'll utilize that, but.
Shouldn't they be going around the back for deliveries? Why are they doing front deliveries?
Well, it depends on where it's located, what it is,
Who
what
the
size
driver
of,
is.
driver, what size of vehicle you have.
Okay.
Yeah. This is not just here, I mean, any downtown you go to.
Yeah, because some of them can't fit in the alleys behind.
So, but these are things to think about when people say, well, just do this. It's easy. Well, it's because we've been doing it this way forever, so the opposite must be better. Well,
Right.
maybe not.
It's a trade-off.
Yeah, it's a trade-off.
Limited resources to deal with it. If we had unlimited money and, you can do them both at once, you can hire all kinds of staff, but that isn't gonna happen, so.
Is it something we can try it the new way?
Well, I wanted to get your,
Well, and but I think like Greg's point, to find out whether it even is, and I mean, I suppose I would defer to people who have businesses downtown and want to give that a try. They know more, you guys know more than I know, but if it's not an option, I mean, I do have worries about the safety of it being in the middle of the road, but I guess there's safety issues with it being on the side too, so.
Yeah, there is no good option.
there is something, I mean, that's just, it was.
So, I mean, it makes the decision for us if MDOT says absolutely no, so, I mean, I guess, I think people seem to be interested.
I'd be
to find out.
concerned about the snow being in the center of the street there, and then one person gets stuck or something
Right.
goes wrong with the car. I don't know how you get through anymore on that street. And that it is winter and there's snow and ice, right? So all around this pile.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I would be curious to know if we even can.
Okay, I will reach out, we'll reach out to them and we'll bring back more. But if you weren't interested at all, just leaving things the way they are, I wasn't even gonna go down the path, so, okay. Just some updates on the capital projects, the banner poles for the community banners, they are up, and the Lucky McDuck banner is now hanging from that. Parking lot number 7, I was hoping to see some black down there this week, but the weather so far, it's not looking good, so it just may be next week after Labor Day weekend. Roe is getting close to finishing up the work for the legal descriptions in the survey for the former transportation building, so we can get that carved out. Hopefully we'll bring that to Planning Commission soon. Just wanted to mention some staff accomplishments. Hannah Post in our assessing department, she received her Michigan Advanced Assessing Officer Program certificate. That's a 3-year process that she went through to get that. So she's, I think, just one level yes, one more level and she would be a level 4 assessor. So she's moving along there, so congratulations to her. Her department head, Kathy Roseland, the State Tax Commission has reached out to her and invited her to be an instructor for these programs and for certain classes, and Kathy has accepted that. We did talk about it and her scheduling and things, and most of the classes that she would be proctoring are via Zoom or Teams. So that's pretty impressive that she was able to do that with the state. Finance Department, Colton Garrett, he earned his, this is a mouthful, he earned his Certified Public Funds Investment Manager certification from the Association of Public Treasurers of the United States and Canada. So congratulations to him. That allows him to work with the Finance Department to do investments for us. So we have another individual on board that can help make sure we're investing properly and diversifying our portfolio. And then lastly, in the library, we have promoted as the interim Child's and Teen Services Librarian, Jessica Oswald, and we hope that that will become a permanent thing if everything works out, but just want to make the commission aware of that. And then the 151st Lighted Truck Parade for the fire department took place on Saturday, and we had over 40 engines from 12 different fire departments, so a nice participation from there. And then lastly, we'd just like to thank the Alma College students who participated in the Gateway to Gratiot Day as part of their freshman orientation. And they did park improvement projects in Pine River Park, Conservation Park, the Riverwalk in Pine River Park, and then along the, Euclid ball fields as well. They took care of those and things there. And then Lori did call me late today, working with David, and nope, you're all right. And Jim Goodhall from Public Works. We've had one of the 3 AC units on the top of the library that's been malfunctioning, and we've been trying to find a way to repair it. After working with a couple different mechanical contractors, just trying to figure out, can we fix it? It's not looking like we can fix it. So next meeting we'll have some more details for you, and that's not going to be it's not a cheap piece of equipment. So we'll be talking about that in a little more greater detail and what the cost implications may be for that. But just wanted to let you know that. Lori talked to me later this afternoon about that. So yeah, just spend money. That's really what it is. So.
About time we almost got it paid off, so.
Yeah, we got about 8 months. Yeah, it'll be paid off.
Right on time.
Yep. And that's all I have.
Okay, who has questions? All right, so we have a motion, I believe, to receive the city manager's report. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. The motion is carried and the reports are received. Thank you. Next up would be appropriations. Is anyone in favor of paying the bills this evening?
Yes, move to pay the appropriations.
A motion support. Does anybody have any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion is carried. You can pay the bills. Thanks, Chris. We've got commissioner comments and invitation to public, but we also have down under new business request from the city manager to conduct a closed session tonight. Do we want to do the comments and everything before, like this? Okay.
Yeah.
So, commissioner comments. Roxanne, you want to start off?
Congratulations to everybody who's doing amazing things in the finance and Kathy and all of that. Nothing else.
Danny?
Nothing else to add, thank you.
Lori?
Welcome back to school. It's awesome seeing all the college students downtown walking around. It was kind of nice. And congratulations to Roger Allman. I didn't realize till I saw something posted, but he's having a retirement coffee, retiring as volunteer for 33 years with the community cafe at his church. After 33 years of working in the community cafe. I know he's not here, but yeah, hopefully he's watching. Congratulations to Roger for that.
Thank you. Michelle?
Thanks to the fire department for a great open house and a good parade. It was a lot of fun for the kids I took there. And don't forget, tomorrow is the Del Mac Riders are coming through town. So So watch out for all the bicyclists.
I would add a congrats to the library on their fantastic new shelving they got.
It looks great, yeah.
Made a very bright and vivid space look even more so.
Very happy
very
with
nice.
how it turned out.
Sarah? Eric? Okay, so in addition to all those wonderful things, everybody's, staff advancing, that's great to see. People going through and getting more education and advancing their skills, that's always great. Lori, yeah, congratulations on the shelving, that's pretty cool. And the donors that supplied the funding for that project, that was really nice and kind of them, so appreciate that. At this point, we'll open it up to members of the public. If anybody would like to address the commission, please go and to the podium, state your name and address, and you'll have up to 5 minutes to share your thoughts with the commission. Who would like to go first? Certainly, please.
All right, my name is Bonnie Summers. I live at 933 Charles Avenue here in Alma. My husband and I have been trying to come in to just make you aware of some of the problems we were having regarding our fence issue with the city. There's so many small details to this problem. We're trying to figure out how to tackle it so we can minimize the time in here with you because you're probably sick of seeing us, and to be honest, I'm sick of being here. So we just want to I want to give you facts. Like, it branches out some of the detail that we have that is important. I would hope sooner or later we can discuss that, but there's so many small details to this problem we've had with our backstop that we want you to know the whole story so it makes sense to you as to why we are so unhappy with how it's been handled by the city officials. It's very difficult to get everything out in 5 minutes, so we'll stick to some of the big facts here. I hope that someone from the city who cares can reach out to us at some point in time to hear our side of the story. No one has yet. I know in healthcare, when we make an error, we do process improvements to try and make sure that something like this doesn't happen again to somebody else, and work with the offense to make things as right as we can. This certainly hasn't happened in this case, and actually it's been handled quite the contrary. So let's start at the beginning. Fact 1, Keith Kolb from Greenside Up submitted an email with project details to both city engineers prior to the project being started, Dave and Christine. In the email, Keith asked them, do you see any issues with this project? Fact 2 was Christine handed Keith the permit and had the detailed print of the project details in her hand, so we know that they received it and they looked at it. This also had a 12-foot fence on there. Fact 3, when Jason spoke with Eric on one occasion about the project and asked Eric to come to the site with Keith and Jason to review the project details, Eric replied, he didn't need to, I trust you guys. Fact 4, we were told there's not a variance allowed for the fence city ordinance by Mike Carr, but in the meeting that my husband Jason had with Eric and Mike, Eric told Jason of a house near Alma College that had the city allowed a taller fence because the manufacturer didn't make the fence in the proper height. Imagine our surprise to hear that story when we were told the variance isn't allowed previously from Mike. Fact 5, zoning board. We went to the zoning board to maybe get a variance. They heard our case and we were denied a variance based on the complete distortion of the truth, stating that we put the fence up knowing we were in violation of the city ordinance and asked for forgiveness instead of permission, which clearly wasn't the case. You guys had the project plans prior to us starting. Fact 6, for our appeal rights, we were waiting for the proper notification from the city. We didn't receive anything. We still haven't. Instead, we were issued citations weekly, even though we were in the process of taking the fence down. Eventually, the citations were waived by Eric, and Mike had contacted us by letter and phone call asking us to pay the fines after the fact, not knowing that Eric had waived the fines. Fact 7, we received an email from Mike thanking us for bringing our fence into compliance after we took the top part of the fence down. To be noted, our fence today looks exactly the same as when we received that email that our fence was in compliance. However, we've recently received an additional 5 $250 citations, one a week. These citations were received after Keith had communicated with Mike and Mark regarding the alternative netting solution. Keith was working with them, at that time. To be noted, as soon as we were advised the netting was a problem, we had it taken down, but still received citations regarding the upper level supports of the fence to be removed. Even though we were told we were compliant previously when those upper level supports were there. As soon as we received the first citation, we asked for a formal hearing in court to deny responsibility for the tickets, but again, the city continued to issue us tickets, $250 a week. The only reason they stopped is because the judge told them to. During the first court date, it was interesting to see Mike Carr say, oh, I'm not going to say the word, but OF. It's right there. When he handed the print of the project details, we showed Mike that. We gave the 2 city engineers from the very beginning of the project. We realized at the very moment, maybe the city didn't realize all of the steps we had taken properly to get the project approved. At this point, any reasonable person that the city would be willing, or any reasonable person would think that the city would be willing to compromise, realizing their mistake, but instead the city has doubled down, and this is going to court with no compromise. I really have to ask why. You know, we've already lost $7,000 to the top of this fence with potential fines and court costs along with taxpayer dollars.
I'm afraid your time is up. Thank you.
So I'll start. I'm Jason Summerx at 933 Charlesville. I'll conclude from where she left off. The reason we were here 2 weeks ago, by the way, is took my mom to 85th birthday party at the Tigers game. They were 115-1, so we missed the commission meeting for that. But we're back because we still are very concerned with this topic. Where she left off was, you know, the city obviously had some fault in this. There's no denying it. There's no chance of saying there wasn't. I don't know what else we could have done. We submit the plans. I talked to the person supposedly in charge of this project and asked them to come out. I mean, what else do we do? What am I missing? Like, somebody tell me what I'm missing. What else should I have done? Should I have came to commission meeting and begged for all of you to review it and make sure you signed off on it before we started? I mean, what other process did we miss before we started this project? So we had to take down the top part of the fence, $7,000. The fence is 14 grand, in my opinion, the 7 grand off the top. And now we're still facing potential fines and court costs along with losing $7,000 when we already submitted the print to you guys and it's been clear writing that Dave and Christine had. I'm missing something. I don't, if you guys said to me, Jason, you need a full permit for this fence, and I just didn't do it, I'll take it down. If you tell me, we put in a driveway and ask for permission, oops, I'll take it down, it's my fault. So why are we paying the $7,000? Why do we still have to go to court? And why are you, the taxpayers, still out there paying for your attorney fees and all the stuff that's adding up when this can go through court for a long time? I'm missing something, guys. I'm a reasonable human being. You all know that or should know that. I'm reasonable. I'm trying to be reasonable. I don't know what else we could have done, okay? But this is something I'm just missing. I'm willing to give up today, tonight, tomorrow. If someone just says, Jason, you should have done this, you didn't. No one can tell me that. Not one person I talked to says that to me. Not one commissioner. I called Danny and Melissa and Michelle. Nobody said that to me. Eric hasn't said that to me. So we realized you guys probably didn't know that we submitted the print. I think you missed that. I do. Eric, when Mike said, oh, fucking court, we realized, holy crap, they didn't even know. They did miss that. They didn't realize that we sent the permit to them. So you're bad. Then own up for it. Then own up for it. Say, yep, we carried it too far, Jason, let's go back and talk about a variance. I think that's an easy compromise and reasonable solution to the problem, okay? So I ask, before I leave here, is again, what should I have done different? We obtained the permit that we're supposed to obtain, and so we did our project that we're supposed to do. Even if we lose in court, because you have the legal process on your side, which it sounds like probably you do, it's gonna be hard to win, because it's hard to beat a municipality, I understand that. So we might have to pay all these fines and leave our fence down. That's okay with you guys? That's okay with the city? When you guys had processes that weren't in place and Dave didn't do his job and Christine didn't do her job and see the 12-foot fence on the print? But you guys are okay with us still suffering consequences and having $7,000 off our fence? You're still okay with the ball still going over? I would have never done the project had I not known this. Never would have done that project, ever. So I don't know why I'm suffering the consequences and my wife and my kids are suffering the consequences when you guys have to have some ownership in this. Do we have some? I don't know, probably. I don't know what else. Tell someone, come tell me what we should have done. Guys, this is easy stuff. This can be solved in minutes of a meeting. with you guys involved. It can't be done with Eric. I just think what happened, the city's doubled down. They didn't realize they screwed up at the beginning, and now they're just willing to ride this all the way up to the end and waste taxpayer dollars to pay an attorney to fight this in court. I find that shameful. And after this is done, I hope someone points out to me and says, Jason, you're an idiot. You should have done this. I will come in here and to the public, I will take ownership and say, my bad. Somebody come tell me that, please, at some point. No one's reached out to me from the commission since we've come in here. And I'm gonna come back, whether I'm gonna lose the tickets. I mean, someone has to take ownership of this and change the processes so Eric and the city engineers don't put people through this again. This is a non-issue, but I drove around for a half hour just for fun, just to look at other ordinances, violations of the same ordinance. There's lots of them. I got more than this, I just brought a few. I know it's like, well, you pulled me over drunk driving, so the other drunk driver got away, I should be able to drunk drive. No, it's not a defense, right? It's not a legal defense. It's not a rational argument. I get that. But there's lots of them. I can go one after another of violations. This is a netting that's up permanently. It's been up there for months on a garage that's in the city, that's up and left up. All you have to do is take this in my backyard, you can see netting that's up all the time in my own backyard. But no one cares. Why? I know why. I know exactly why.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Any other members of the public like to address the commission?
Larry Richards, 825 East Superior Street. Nowhere near as organized as these two people, but I haven't been here before for this, so I've been dealing with a blight issue, or whatever you want to call it, with a city attorney and a code enforcement officer. I've been told one story after another, and now I've been told, last time in court, that Hal Smith didn't have the authority to allow me to move in there 30 years ago. So I'm thinking, 30 years? He didn't get fired for letting me move in there, and I've been there for 30 years, and now all of a sudden I should have never been there, because it's not zoned properly, even though there was a towing company there prior to me for, I don't know, 15 years, I'm guessing. So that's 45 years of towing and repair and cars and all that there. So the attorney tells the judge that I shouldn't even be working on cars. Well, I'm a licensed repair facility, have been since before I moved in there. So now I'm not allowed to work on cars because of what he tells the judge. It's just been one thing after another. He tells the judge I don't have a hard surface parking lot. Where is concrete not hard surface? Where's asphalt not hard surface? How do we tell these lies and get away with it? I don't get it. But it's been one lie after another. My car tells me, well, you can't sell vehicles because you got to clean up the front of your lot. I flat out admitted the front of the lot got out of hand. I had no problem cleaning that up. You get that moved and then we'll give your dealer a special use permit back so I can sell cars. That was over 3 years ago. Why would I want to clean up anything if I'm not going to get what I was told I was going to get? Anybody have an answer for that? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. You tell me you're going to do something and then you change it and did something else and told me to put the inoperable vehicles out back, so I did that, and then they tell me I can't have them there. So I think you got somebody on a power trip with a little too much ego and way too much control, because if Hal Smith didn't have authority to let me in there 30 years from now, maybe these people didn't have authority to kick me out of there. Something to think about, because you got people out there telling stories. That's all I got.
Thank you. Anybody else like to address the commission? Not seeing any. So, we'll move down to new business, which are to consider a request from the city manager to conduct a closed session, which is permitted under Section 8D of the Open Meetings Act, Michigan law number 15-268, regarding the purchase or lease of real property. Okay, we need a roll call for this, please.
Need a motion first?
Oh, we need a motion, yes, sorry.
So moved.
Support. Motion support. Now a roll call, please.
Commissioner Allman? Sampson? Commissioner Barrett?
Here.
Vice Mayor Harrington?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrison?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Warnick?
Yes.
Mayor Mapes?
Yes.
Thank you. That's a yes.
So we will be adjourned temporarily. We'll go into closed session.
Yes.
No action.
Meeting?
Okay, we have motion support. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion is carried. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Sorry,
Have a good evening.